As we always do whenever we finish a game, we do a little bit of a discussion on it from mechanical, from a story standpoint, and then an overall, would I recommend it, would I not recommend it, with caveats and all of that stuff. So, first and foremost, mechanically, this game is a card battler, creature collector with some life sim on the side. And the reason why I structure it like that is because that is what I felt that this game was. I came in expecting it to be life sim with a creature collector on the side of that, but instead it was the opposite way around. So there's a lot of focus on the creature collector and not a lot of focus on the life sim. A lot of the life sim systems feed directly back into the system of creature collecting. So that's how this is kind of structured. The card battle, I think, is simple enough that people can pick it up from a mechanical standpoint, but not so simple as you feel like it's just a waste of time. There are some complexities and balance stuff. I'm sure they're going to keep adding spirits, which might change the complexity of the battle too, because we didn't mess with all the spirits, we didn't mess with all the element types. I'm sure there's some like really intense combinations you can do with different spirits. I think from a combat standpoint, I like that they did something different than a lot of life sims, because a lot of life sims, it's either they don't have combat at all, or if they do have combat, it's something very, very simple, which is fine because the whole focus of those games are on the life sim. And again, I think this game's focus is the creature collector and the card battler and less on the life sim stuff, so it makes sense that there's a lot of effort spent on that mechanic versus the life sim stuff. The life sim stuff I feel like is very, very like there's not a lot of depth there. All those systems almost immediately feed back into either your ability to keep doing stuff per day, or to make your creatures stronger, faster, tame better, whatever it might be. All of that feeding back into that. So that's mechanics. Story wise, it's like a lot of life sims. The story doesn't have to be too complicated. It's more about mechanical stuff with life sims, the things you get to do on your day to day. I do like that you get to help the town find their own spirits. I do like that slowly over time you can help Waldo get more and more of himself back. The rift thing, it's interesting. The rift thing exists, but it seems like those doing the temples and doing the rift isn't really as pushed on you as it seems, right? Like, from a story standpoint, I don't think I even got a reference of the temples until I walked up to the temples. So I feel like they could, if they wanted that to be more important, they could maybe have some things to be like, hey, you should check out these temples before the end of the year or whatever. And then, maybe that would allow you to really feel that, because that rift fight was very difficult. Just because the boss keeps lowering you down to 1 HP, so it's basically a test to see, did you make good healing potions and stuff, or if are you high enough level to continue this fight essentially. But we did beat that. But I think that was cool. I like that it had a Pokemon reference. Missing No being the final boss is a reference to Pokemon. If you didn't know, there was a glitched Pokemon in like red and blue, I believe, that was called Missing No. It's Missing Number is what it's short for, which I think that eventually got turned into its own set of like alphabet characters later on in the series. But anyways, so story-wise, it's just you're an alchemist, you're spending a year away from home, you're trying to become a full-fledged alchemist, and you just do tasks around town, help people with spirits, tame your team, all of that stuff. So the story, again, it doesn't have to be very deep for a life sim, but I do like that there is some actual like concrete like helping Waldo story, and also like you have a year and it tells you from the beginning, hey, after a year, that is the end, so to speak, of the travels. But yeah, overall I like that. There is also still like there's the relationship system, which a lot of life sims have, that we didn't dive too much into. But so there might be some story there. I'm not sure if you unlock story through the relationships or if it's just like, we're married now, you have the bracelet, right? Like that kind of thing. or married or engaged or whatever the term they'll use for the game is. But I think we did a pretty good job of showing off most of what the game had to offer. Obviously, there's a lot more depth with the card battler and the creature collector. I don't really like card battlers, if I'm being honest. But this one was fine. This one was fine because I felt like it was. Again, I don't feel like I was like stressing over, oh my god, these decks are like hundreds of cards big and I can't figure out what I need to do where, and you know, I didn't get lost in it, which I think was really helpful. So overall, you know, I don't do 5 stars, blank out of 10 or anything like that. I don't feel like those numbers can be as helpful as me recommending it or not recommending it with caveats. So basically, if you ask if I would recommend this game, I think I would. I really do. For 20 bucks, we got 42 hours, and again, there's tons more hours you can do out of the game. So you could definitely get more hours out of this than we did. The only caveat I would say to my recommendation is if you go into this game expecting a life sim, you're probably not going to be as pleased with the game as if you came in looking for the card battle or creature collector. If you come in for that stuff, you will be sold on it pretty quickly. But if you come in for life sim, it's going to be a little bit too shallow compared to other life sims where that's the focus to maybe keep you playing. So this might be, you might do what we did and just kind of hit one playthrough and then be kind of done with it, finish that 1 year kind of thing. But I think there's a lot to explore. I do recommend it. It's a good price with a lot of content. And again, if you like card battlers, if you like creature collectors, and especially if you like both of those, this is definitely a game you want to check out. Again, that's Moonstone Island. Yeah, good game. Just not as deep of a life sim that I would have liked. But that's going to do it for this video. So thank you so much for everybody watching over here on YouTube. You can catch us live on Twitch, MaskofGames on Twitch. Also remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff to these videos so that we can push them out to more lovely people. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.